If you're getting started in P&C insurance, this decision matters more than what company you'll pick. And nobody really explains this to beginners, so I'm here to give you the no hype, no fear, just the truth version. Let's get started. If you've seen my past episodes, you know that I made a career pivot from the marketing industry into the insurance industry, and I document all the things I learned along the way because there are literally no information out there. And now here I am producing the episodes that I wish I had seen when I started in insurance. So when I started, you guys know that I didn't have any savings. I didn't have a cushion. I literally was starting from zero. I had lost my job. I didn't have any savings. I was literally transitioning from one job to another, learning everything from this industry to start from zero. And I really needed stability. And that's why I chose captive first. So let's start with part one. Captive agent. First of all, what the heck is a captive agent? Should I call the police? No, no, I'm just kidding. Captive agent literally means that you work for one carrier, like a major insurer, like Progressive, Geico, Allstate, State Farm, and you work for them and you don't offer any other carrier to customers. Versus an independent agent, these agents work for a kind of like a brokerage insurance agency that work with a lot of different carriers that they can offer to their customers, and they don't work for one particularly. They work for the brokerage, and the brokerage uses a lot of different carriers to find the best rates for their customers. That is the difference. Now let's get into the pros and cons of a captive agent, and then we'll go into pros and cons of an independent agent. So that way you can take notes, you can go slowly with me, and you can understand what I'm talking about. And if you have any questions or you want to point something out that I missed, please go ahead and leave me a comment below. So the first pro about a captive agent is that most of them, if not all of them, have base pay. And I spoke about this in my other episodes before, so you can go ahead and check that playlist up here. And I'm also working on creating a course for you, so let me know if that's something you want to see from me. Leave me a comment below. But yes, pro number one is that yes, captive agencies, most of them have base pay, and they provide training in the first month of your employment, so you're not really selling or binding. That's what that means. So you have that base pay, like a cushion for the first month, and you don't have to worry about rent or panicking or anything like that. You're covered financially. That's the first pro. Second pro is that leads are provided. Now, you're going to be receiving a lot of either inbound or outbound. For me, my experience has been outbound. So that means that you receive the alert from the lead that they want. They're looking into getting insurance, and then you call them immediately. And that's outbound because you are the one who is making the call. If it's inbound, it's that you're receiving the call. So that in any case, leads are provided with captive agents, and you don't have to go out there and prospect or focus on lead generation because the lead generation is already provided to you. So that's a big pro for the captive agency. 3 is that there is a lot of structure in this environment. You have set times that you have to come in. You'll have all the systems. They'll teach you all the systems that you have to use. You'll have scripts on what to say and how to say it. You'll have coaching. They'll teach you how to do customer service, things that you have to do for a customer. Like if they want to add something to their policy, you'll be able to do that. So it's basically like insurance boot camp. You get good fast because you have to. It's very repetitive. You do the same thing every day. You go to work, pick up the phone, make your calls, sell, quote, bind. And that leads me into my fourth pro, which is predictable. It's very predictable. You have a set schedule, you have a stable routine, and sometimes, depends on the agency, you'll have benefits. Let's get to the cons of a captive agency. Number 1, you do not own your book of business. I repeat, you do not own your book of business. Now, what does this mean? It means that any client that you book in new business means that you've never met this person before. You quote them, you bind them. Bind, it means sold. In the next 6 months, depending if it's auto or home, their policy renews. You don't get that renewal money, the agency does. So that book of business is the agency's client. It's not your client anymore. Some agencies are good in the terms of like they'll keep the business with the agent. So if for example, you bind an auto today, but then you cross sale their home later and it's someone else who did it, some agencies will call you or will bind it for you under your producer name, like under your name. Just it's good etiquette. But I don't want to say that you're going to see that across the board, because a lot of agencies are very different. If your customer, Miss Johnson, calls and says, hey, my agent, Victoria, is she in? I want to buy a home policy. Oh, no, she's not. But I can take care of you. And then they put it under their name. That's some unethical things. That's just something that, you have to just watch out for. But basically, in this con, as a captive agent, you only get money from new business. Second con is that you get lower commissions from 2 to 5% per item versus an independent agent who gets higher commissions per item. What do I mean by per item? You can have one customer that has many items. This one customer can have a home policy, an auto policy, a personal umbrella policy, a landlord policy, a motorcycle policy. You already have 5 items with one customer. That's what that means. Number 3, there's a lot less flexibility. When you're in a captive environment, yes, you have a stable routine and everything is scheduled. That was a pro, but it's also a con. Why? Because everything is scheduled, okay? Like you cannot go to the bathroom without writing it or telling your people that you're going to go to the bathroom. Also, you only have like 30 minutes to eat, and sometimes 30 minutes is not enough. Most of the time, I have to prepare myself ahead of time to make my breaks a lot easier. I prepare food for myself. I put it in the fridge. I prepare food for my dogs after their breakfast. I prepare their lunch and I seal it for lunchtime. And they have pee-pee pads everywhere so they can go to the bathroom while I'm working. So those are things that you have to prepare, because 30 minutes is not enough for you to prepare your food, prepare your dog's food, go to the bathroom, make sure there's nothing in your teeth because they can see you. So that's a big con, because when you're in an independent, you can take an hour lunch if you want to. You're independent. You do what you want. Moving on to con number 5, my last con is customer service obligations. Now, depending on the size of the agency, you will see this or not. The bigger the agency, the less likely you'll see this. But for beginners, this is for you, because you will not see the front end of a big agency unless you are a 2-year producer with a proven sales record. So this is for you. Customer service obligations means that you will be trained to be, yes, a sales producer, but also you will be serving customers as a customer service rep. A lot of these captive agencies do this to new producers, newly licensed producers, where they'll put them in a customer service role and then sometimes sell so they can gain experience or to fill in whatever gaps they may have in terms of roles. So you'll see that a lot, where you are doing so much work. You're doing customer service, you're doing sales, you're doing follow-ups, you're doing admin work on the back end. So it could be exhausting and it could lead to burnout if you don't manage it well. Other agencies, I've seen that they separate these roles, where customer service is a separate entity than the sales department, and the sales department will only have licensed producers doing sales. But you'll also have customer service just doing service work, servicing the customers. Both of these roles need to be licensed because they have to go into these systems, to go into the customer's policy and still be compliant. Now let's move on to part 2, the independent agent. We already know what an independent agent is. They work with a lot of different carriers to provide different rates to their customers versus a captive agent who only works with one carrier and they don't have the flexibility of working with other carriers. I will tell you why that is very, very important, and it could hurt your sales. Now let's start with the pros. Let's get with the good stuff. Number one, big number one, is you own your book of business. Now, remember when I mentioned that the captive agent does not own their book of business? Well, the independent agent, has a leg up on this one, and they do own their book of business. So the client that they bind today, that will be their client forever. Doesn't matter where they go. They continue in this model, being an independent agent, that's their customer. Doesn't matter where they go. If they go to another brokerage, that's still their customer. They can take them. And when the customer renews their policy, those renewal commissions will come into them. And that's why you see that independent agents start making money in years 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Pro number 2 is their higher commissions. What I've seen is about 10 to 15% per item, which is a lot higher than a captive agent. Number 3 is carrier flexibility. Remember, I told you that they work with different carriers. This is a very big deal because they can move around between them and see which one works best for their customer, which one is getting better rates without affecting their coverage. Number 4, lifestyle. Now, the independent agent has a great lifestyle because they are independent. Think about a real estate agent, and that's an independent insurance agent. They basically can come in whenever they want. They can work whenever they want. And they can even, most of them can either do like a hybrid thing. What I've seen is that they work from home, and once a month they have to go to the agency just to do like a monthly meeting with all the brokers or all the agents and see what's going on or get training or whatever they need to do. And a good thing about this also is that they can get referral partners, which you can get referral partners for a captive agent as well. But I've seen it work a lot better with independent agents. Which brings me to my 5th and final point, referral partners. So referral partners are basically networking relationships. These are relationship-based sales that the agent goes to work to get themselves known in their community that they serve, go to networking events, meet a lot of people, so that they get referral to their services, or work directly like B2B with another agency, like a real estate agency. Some referral partners are realtors, real estate agents, like I mentioned, mortgage brokers, and loan officers. Those are good referral partners for home policies. Auto dealerships, obviously. Property managers for renters. Small business owners for commercial, and financial advisors. Why? Because they're life agents and they may not be licensed in PNC, and they have a referral for you. So agent to agent, thank you very much. So this is a little bit more fun in my opinion because you can focus on building relationship instead of cold calling all day. So this would be the fun part of being an independent agent. Now, let's get to the cons. Here are the cons for an independent agent. Number 1, no base pay. Have no salary, no safety net, usually no benefits. And again, this all depends on the agency. I have seen recently brokerages with base pay, but it's not the case for everyone. Just think about that. It may happen, it may not. Second con is that they have a slow start because, well, from what I've seen, a lot of them do not provide leads. Some do, some don't. Again, it's a maybe not, because they're independent agencies. They have different models, and the way that they work is independent to them. So sometimes you'll see agencies that have their leads provided and some don't, but they definitely will train you on how to get those leads. And from what I've seen, there are a lot of really successful independent agents that are killing it with this kind of model. And finally, number 3, boundaries are harder in this model because, again, the schedule is a pro, but it is also a con, because if you don't have any routine or set schedule, it's really easy that you'll be working until 10 p.m. So you don't really have that boundaries like that, because you could take a 2-hour break and then work all evening and not even notice. So that's where the lines get a little blurred. And now to part 3. This is the part where I told you to listen along and to keep watching, because this is a sneaky little bonus that nobody really talks about, and that is state regulations. This is the part where nobody talks about this, and it could really, really quietly mess up your income. Now, when you're working remote, I want you to really pay attention what state you're applying to, because I didn't know this. So I applied to a northern state up there in New England, and I didn't know that this state was so regulated. Rates. The more expensive the state, the higher the rates, my friend. And I can't tell you how many sales I lost when I was quoting my customers and the rates were astronomical and we were not competitive, and I couldn't do anything about it, and I lost that sale. It's very frustrating when you don't know the regulations of this states. They have restrictions on consent when calling people. So you must have consent as a business to call your customer. And that means that when you're cold calling and you get a new lead, you can't leave a voicemail for them to call you back. So, and you cannot send them a text or an email or anything. So you just pray to all your gods that that person answers the phone, or you keep calling them until they do, and you hang up in the voicemail because you can't leave a voicemail. So yeah, pay attention to the state that you're applying to, because you may be learning the same skills, but getting different results because of geography. So here's my advice. Choose captive if you're broke and you need that base. If you're new and you need intensive training. If you need structure. If you are new to sales. And if you want a predictable routine. Then choose captive. That is my advice to you. Now, choose independent if you have savings, or you have a backup, or you have some sort of network. If you already know some sales fundamentals. If you want ownership of your book of business and you're looking for long-term recurring income. If you value lifestyle and freedom, then independent is a good route for you. Listen, there's no right path. There's only the right path for your season. Maybe right now you have to be in captive, and later on you want to be independent because you have that business acumen that you've learned and you think that you're ready for independent. I chose captive first because I needed safety. Later, I can choose independent from a place of strength, not desperation. So that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know which part of the video was your favorite. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video with a friend who may need it. Leave me a comment. Tell me where you're at. Let me know if this video was good for you. What do you want me to expand on? I'm here for feedback. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.